We're live, man. Welcome to another episode of Wealth is Gangster. We're up here Financial Talk. I'm here with my fam. Tremaine, what's going on, fam?
What's up, man? Nothing much. Chilling. Another
Another
day.
week, man. We back, man. We trying to build up this consistency. We trying to build up this movement, man.
Yep, for sure.
How was what was your thoughts on last week in the market, man? You got any thoughts about the last week in the market, or any thoughts about the the first day of this first week?
Yeah. I mean, it was good for me. Oil shooting up right now, so I'm invested pretty heavy in oil. So, I'm winning a little bit. Getting a little more, few pennies in my pocket, but got that going on, and then Nvidia is popping back up, which is great for me too. I was in that. So I've had some good wins this week. On top of the other stuff, just trying to stay consistent. But those have been the biggest winners that I've had this past couple weeks. Just getting back on track with those and getting back into winning territory with those, and shaving a little bit off. And I did that today. Sold some Nvidia to rebalance, and as soon as I sold it, went back down, which was great. So I can get in some more, and then at that cheaper price and cost dollar cost average. So yeah.
Man, that's cool. Are you what or do you focus on one sector, or you just kind of like spread it out between the sectors, or like how do you approach when you're doing this, or do you just pick companies that you research on? Like what's your approach when it comes to the stocks, or what stocks you do buy or what stocks you don't buy?
So most part is stocks that I researched that I think either I saw some news about and I want to know more about it, and I start researching it and think it's something that I want to get into, or if it's like a trending thing like Nvidia, right? Like Nvidia has been trending for a while, so I looked at it, seeing like, okay, see what their projections are, what the numbers have been the past couple releases for their earnings and stuff like that, trying to see where it's going, and then I hopped in and then went up a little bit, cool, made a little bit, and then hopped out. It's nothing that I stay in too long though, because when they're trending, when it's a trending type stock, people are always going to be taking money off the table. So it's always going to go up and down. It's going to be real volatile. So that's more of when stocks are trending, it's more of a get in, get out type thing for me. I get in, make a little money, and get out, or get in, lose a little money, and then have to hold on longer than I wanted to. So it can go either way. And then as soon as it comes back up to being profitable, then I'll sell it and get out of it. So I try not to hold trending stocks and stuff like that too long. Uh, at the most, I want to hold them for 2 or 3 weeks, and that's if it goes the opposite way of what I thought. So if I buy a stock, if I like Nvidia, for example, when I bought it, it was kind of high actually, and then I waited, it dropped. I was like, cool. I thought it was a good time to get in. Got in, then it dropped some more. So I was like, man, okay. So I had to hold on to it for a while, but eventually came back up, sold what I wanted to sell, and then I'm like, okay, now I made a little bit of profit. Now I can kind of see where the flow goes with it. So that's my thing when it comes to trending type stocks. But for big stocks that I'm gonna hold forever, like I usually know what I'm getting into with those. Coke, Johnson and Johnson, Chase, like the big stocks like that, big blue chip stocks. So yeah, I do research as well, but those have already been proven. So it kind of takes the guesswork out of it. I don't really have to do too much diving into it. It's more of a, am I getting in at the right time, as
Yeah.
far as, do I think it's going to go up or go down by the next earnings session? So that's kind of what I look at when I'm looking at those things for holding for a long period of time. But sectors, no, I don't jump in sectors particularly. I mean, I do invest in the S&P 500 index, so that covers my broad market right there. That covers pretty much everything. So that's my easy bucket of, all right, I got all my bases covered, and then I'll look at individual stocks for different stuff.
Yeah. And, and that's the thing about it. You build up a strategy as you get with it, as you start doing it, because you can hear how one person does it, and that might work for them, but it might not work for you because of your personality, because of
Hmm.
what you just like. Just it's just different reasons why every stock doesn't work for the same person, for every person the same way.
Yep.
Of course, you want to have your blue chips, and you want to have the big boys that gonna be
Hmm.
steady. Then that's when you break down the strategy. Okay, am I a person that's into swing trading, or do I want to do some dividend plays. So, even if it's going down or going up, I don't care because I'm in this one for the bigger dividends. So it just that's when it breaks down, and that's what I'm getting into, like real heavy in the dividend. I'm loving the dividend plays because the way you can win on it from the trading, of course, the stock going up, buying it low enough and then going up.
Yep.
But then just the extra payments of the compound interest of what you can do, especially if you take whatever your dividend is and just keep throwing it right back into the company as you keep averaging it up. So like I say, I don't know. I love all parts of the market. I haven't really seen no part that I don't like. So I kind of like broad myself, and that's just always the way I've been as an entrepreneur. So it's second nature for me to do the same in this. I was learning last night though. Dang man, I'm gonna have to write it down because I was just learning it. But what they were teaching us about stocks that correlate or don't correlate, and how if you don't, it's something about the combat. Forgive me, I come back more next week with a note. But the compatibility, if you got them not going, if one stock going up and one stock going down at the same time, or both of these stocks are correlating, they go up at the same time, or they go down at the same time. So you can win bigger, or you can lose bigger, or you can just always even out because they're always going in different directions. You know, and so I never thought about. When I look at stocks, I just get stocks. I never think about how they correlate with the other stocks in my portfolio.
Yeah.
So
I got you.
I don't know if that's something super deep. It's just something I ran across last night. I never heard nobody say nothing about it. I just always heard, you put your money in certain companies, and over time you're going to win. Especially the more time you got on your hands, the more your chances of winning bigger are on the table. And that's why we talk about doing it for the next generation, because whatever we buying it for right now, what they're going to be buying it for in 20 years, this is going to be looking like change. You know what I'm saying?
It is, and that's the crazy part too.
So we think it is high, because what we think is super high right now, they couldn't imagine even getting to these levels decades ago. You know what I'm saying? They were like, and when I was watching the old video last week about the SPY, I think last year, no, because I got in it right at, it was like 4 something, but I was watching it like a year or so ago. I guess I missed it. It was like in the 3s. It was 3 something. I was like, man, I was like, whoa, that's man, and just catching it at those moments. And it's sad that we don't know this. That's the part that I'll be like, man, how we don't know this game, that when it's crashing, I always heard run from the market, stay away from the market. It's gambling, and that's leads into what we're talking about tonight. It's gambling. You're gonna lose your money, this and that. So I'm pretty sure you heard that. What comes to mind, or what do you think, or what do you rebuttal, or what you come back with if someone says in the stock market you're just gambling?
I tell people they gamble every day, man. Whether they know it or not, they're gambling, right? Like, we gamble with life. Like, we never know what's gonna happen. We can get hit by a bus tomorrow, we can get hit by a bus going to our car. Like, life is a gamble. Like, if you're at a point where you're like, I don't want to spend this, $20-$30 or however much money to try to make your life better, then you're just destined to be what you are. If you don't want to do better, nobody can make you do better. And once you know the game, I mean, it's repetitive that we say this, but once you know it, once you get that knowledge, it doesn't feel like gambling at all, because you almost know what's gonna happen. Or if you with the dividend plays, you're gonna get paid. Like, no matter if that mug goes down to 1 penny, you still gonna get a dividend as long as they don't cut the dividend, right? So knowing that the secure options, and that's the type of thing that most people start with, right? Because they feel secure. Like, okay, all right, you don't want to spend money. Cool. What about Coke? How many Cokes do you buy? How many Coke products do you buy? Okay, so now at least somebody's buying Coke, right? Somebody out there is buying Coke. So they're making money somehow, some way, right? So if you're doing that, how many other people are buying Coke? How many other people go to Starbucks every day? Like, you got to invest in stuff that is making money. Like, that's how you start. There's just simple, easy things that are making money, and those are like everyday uses, right? Cars. Ford, GM, all them. People need cars. They making cars. Invest in the car company. Okay. People need lights. There's electric companies out there that you can invest in. Co-ops and all types of stuff. Apartments, you can invest in apartments. Like there's something for everybody. There's something that everybody needs that you can invest in, and you cannot tell me that you buying an apartment complex or putting money into an apartment complex is gambling. That's you saying that nobody's ever going to need apartments or the apartments that you got. That's unlikely, very unlikely. So people just need to change the mindset of what they're talking about, because when you're talking about okay, somebody gets on here and they say, man, I paid 3 cents for GameStop, it shot up to $50, now I'm a gazillionaire. Like, yeah, that's gambling. That's gambling, right? You didn't know it was going to go that high, but at the same time, that person took a chance. It's just like buying a lottery ticket. You're taking a chance, right? You're not going. Most people don't think buying lottery tickets is gambling, which is crazy to me. But you got more of a chance making money in the stock market than you do on a lottery ticket.
Man, and that's what one of the conversations I had with my uncle some years back, and he was telling me I was crazy about the stock market because he was one of the ones saying that's gambling, man. I said, I've been watching you buy a lottery ticket every day for 20 years. I'm talking about 10, 20, 30. Sometimes he spend, payday, he might spend 50, but even on his worst day, he going to find $5 or $10 to buy a lottery ticket. I told him, I said, for the last 20 years, if you'd have did that same thing and threw that same $5, 10, 20, $30 into the stock market, you'll have a few $100,000 right now. Off that same lottery money, not even counting the food money you wasted, the beer money you wasted, the going to the club money you wasted. I ain't even counting none of that money. I'm talking about strictly off your lottery ticket habit. If you'd have took that lottery ticket habit and put it into a stock market habit, you have a couple $100,000 right now. Like that's simple.
Especially back in the day too, when everything was a lot cheaper. Because $10 been $10, but Apple ain't been $300 a share the whole time. Facebook ain't been $500 a share the whole time. If you bought one share of Facebook back then at $50, it's worth almost $600 now. So 10x your money right there.
Man, I hate I sold Facebook, man. I should have stayed up in that thing, man.
Yeah, me too.
I jumped back in, but it was what? It was about like 470 when I jumped back in. It was. I missed the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
You're still good. They almost.
But I got back in just because I know the future. But I'm talking about the present in my life. I missed that because I think when I first got into Facebook, it was like I got it at like 60 something.
Yeah.
And then when it hit like 150, 170 or something like that, that's when I just like cashed out, thinking it would hit the mountaintop. I thought it was gonna go back down. You know what I'm saying? And it just, it never came down. And sometimes we wait for that to come down, and it's gonna come down, but not to where you thought it's gonna come down to.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So that was a hard lesson learned, but that's what I'm saying about us being the first generation with it. Imagine how good we'd be this if the generation before us learned this and gave us this game. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be in this part where we got into it in our late 20s, 30s. You know what I'm saying? We grew up with the game, and man, I can just and I always been real frugal with money, but I still blew a lot of money because I ain't know what else to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Like even though I wasn't into like the jewelry, I went into like the Gucci. We still. Everybody got habits, so you still find ways to blow money if you don't really know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So that was my thing. I never blew it on stuff, but I just lived life and didn't understand it. And I understood, so I started businesses. So I understood the entrepreneur. But what really has woken up in the last few years to me, that really that set me behind, I feel, because I always thought entrepreneur, business. And then once I get my businesses right, I get all that right, then I worry about the investing and I worry about the stock market. I worry about all that. And what I come to learn is if I'd have made the investing in the stock market and that mindset the foundation of my businesses, it would have kickstarted a lot of stuff further. You know, and
Yeah.
that's just something I had to be real with myself and learn. Like, oh man, my approach was backwards. But you know, I'm in it now though. But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So I'd have made the corrections, but. That's what I mean. When we first generation, we have to figure this out. We didn't have the uncles, the dads, and nobody that already took the knockings on the head and already had to learn about when the crash ain't really bad, and you know all the stuff that we try to tell people now. If we would have been hearing this at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, could you imagine where we be? You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine?
Not
you
working, that's for sure.
For real, man. So that's why I really believe these conversations is important because that's what we have to do. That's why I love when you talk about it now. You talk about it in the aspect of your kids. They already know what it is. We didn't know what no stocks was at that age, running around the house. You know what I'm saying? We knew what a job was: football practice, go to school, church. You know, like just the normal 5 or 6 things. We didn't understand that this world on a global scale and on a scale where we have to do this and function like this and operate at this type of level. We didn't know nothing about any of that, you know.
Yep, there's a whole world outside of our city, outside of our neighborhood, you know, a whole bunch of stuff going on that we know nothing about until we get out there and expose ourselves to it, you know, and expose our families to it. So
and I think that's where we gamble. We gamble more by living the life that we feel like we was brought up to live. That same normal we really happy to struggle. We happy to barely make it. We happy to live check to check. We built up a confidence in living like that where it's just part of it, and it ain't got to be a part of it. If you switch your mindset and operate differently, your standards of living and how you operate and the things that can come in your life can change like that. It's really not that hard. It's just it's hard because we never thought from that point of view. But the actions that it take are not really that hard when your mind is made up.
Yeah. Man, I tell people all the time when as a first generation, you know, doing this, like it's hard, you know, like there's no roadmap for me set out. There's nothing telling me, hey, you should do this, watch out for this, you know, have you thought about that? Like there's none of that for me. So I'm, like you said, taking them knocks, going off in there, you know, getting hit on the head sometimes, like, man, dang, all right, don't do that again, you know, and trying to pass that knowledge on. And so being first generation, it is hard. And then, you know, trying to put that money up and still living paycheck to paycheck sometimes, but you don't think about that you're saving, you know, and then putting in the market and investing for your future. Like that's the hard part. You know, when I first started, like religiously investing, it was like $120 a month, right? And sometimes I was like, man, I need gas. That $120 a month, that would come in real handy right now, you know. But I'm like, okay, I'm glad I stuck with it because that turned into a lot more later on. You know, just the habit of putting it away and not thinking about it. Being like, okay, this is what I make, not that extra. Like I can't even count that. That's why I send it to a different account. I don't even want to see it. You know, I don't want to see it hit my account and then go out. I don't want to do that. Just go straight over there without me seeing it. You know, and that makes it easier for me. Now I can live within my means by adjusting my lifestyle and everything based on the money that I have and not all the money that's coming in. So, you know, instead of living off 100% of your paycheck and, you know, having $20, $30 by the time paycheck or your next payday come around, you know, you could be like, okay, now I'm only living off 80% or I'm only living off 70%, investing the other 30% that I don't even see. Now you'll see how your life will look different in 10 years when you got all this money saved up and stashed up and you're like, dang, I didn't even know, you know, I didn't even know it could be like that. And then you're looking at your savings account and you like, oh, I got $3 over these past 4 years, but this then turned into another 20 or 30,000. You know, it's crazy how the compound interest and how the stock market compounds on itself and gets bigger and bigger. And once people realize the power of it, once they see it, man, that's the thing. They got to see it because you can tell people about stuff all day and they'll be like, whatever, or it works for you, but not for me. And like, what makes me different than you? We grew up together. We grew up on the same street. You know, we did the same stuff. What made me different than you? And like, I don't get how people think like almost like somebody's better than them because they're doing something that they're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't think nobody's better than me. I don't, you know, that's not being cocky or nothing, but I feel like if somebody else can do something, that I can do it too. That's just how I am. So, and that's what really prompted me to get started in all this. Is like, all right, Warren Buffett, he started selling lemonade, and then he got into buying these businesses and stuff. And I'm like, he didn't get no loans from, nobody. His dad wasn't rich. He didn't have people like, hey, you need to do this, this, this. He learned it. And I'm like, so what makes me different than him? Like, he's not smarter than me. At least that's what I tell myself, right? I mean, yeah, he has more knowledge because he's been doing it longer. But if we at the same age, I don't think he's smarter than me. So I'm like, okay, if he's doing this and he became a billionaire, what if I can just become a millionaire? You know what I'm saying? If I do what he did, I can at least reach 1/1000th of what he got. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at things. So when people say stuff, oh, that's too hard or whatever, I'll take it as a challenge for me because I don't feel as there's anything that I can't do if somebody else has already done it.
Yeah. And that's when I be mentoring, talking to the youth. It always go back to the mindset because we'll never say that. Man, I done seen kids that's 5 feet tall that'll get on a basketball court with somebody that's 6 foot tall, but in their mind they still finna give it all they got, and you just gonna have to beat them, right? But when it comes to raising our thinking, raising the way we operate it, when we come to raising the standards of the way we live, like we compete on that field or that court, we won't compete in life like that. Yep. And that's what I try to challenge these kids. Like, you might not be able to be a LeBron James on the court, but you can be LeBron James in your family by doing this and making these power moves, and you know what I'm saying? Like you don't dribble no basketball. You don't go to the gym and work out like LeBron, but in your family, you the LeBron James. You the one changing the narrative and really putting the stones together to really change this situation, right? So we can all be that quote unquote LeBron James or that superstar or whatever name you want to use, but it's in different ways. We're only taught the sports way.
Yeah, I mean, I throw those analogies all day because it's not about what they do on the court. They do that stuff on the court and they get paid all this money, but within 5 years, 80% of them are broke. So it's like if you still don't got the money management, it don't matter how much money you got or how much money you get because you're not gonna play sports forever. You can't always run and jump as fast as you can as everybody as the 20-year-olds and 18-year-olds. You're just not gonna be able to do it. Your body's not gonna hold up. So if you don't have that financial background or somebody you have in place that's actually doing right by you and helping you with all that, it doesn't matter. You can go to the league and still end up broke. There's people who've been in the league. I mean, Delonte West, perfect example. He was in the league, made millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and now he's homeless. Dude, lives in Dallas and he's homeless. Now that's no shade to him, but he didn't have the right people around him helping him get his life together and use that money to make his life and his family's later on in life better. He was living for the moment and he had people around him that was probably doing the same thing, probably, asking for money and all this and that. Oh, you always got to come in. You'll play next season. You'll get more money again, putting all these things in your ear and not believing that he's going to play forever. And he wasn't. And now look, all those same people are nowhere to be found. Ain't nobody trying to help him now, That's the story that I would preach to these kids. Like, it don't matter if you go to the league. I hope you do. I really hope you do. But what else are you going to do? If you go to the league, can you help your family? Do you know what to do to help your family? Do you know what to do to help your kids? Do you know what to do to help your cousins, your aunties, your uncles? Like, it's not about just being able to go to the league. It's about using that platform or your abilities to make the life better for your family. Yeah. And that's what we should be preaching to these kids.
Yeah. And it's preaching, we got to be the examples and that's why I would like to have these conversations and talk financial because these kids need to see that. I end up going to the streets because that's what I saw. All the people that was telling me to do right, all those people were struggling or going to a job that they hated, doing this and that. And that's what I'm trying to tell. I feel like I'm having a conversation in a couple of weeks about I feel like a lot of the elders failed us. And not that they did it on purpose. It's just the way they thought, the way they operate. And a lot of them still operating like that and refuse to change. You know what I'm saying? And for me, for us to really break these these mindsets. We're gonna have some uncomfortable conversation where some people might feel like it's disrespect, but it's no disrespect. It's just this time for us to be real about what's wrong and why is it wrong, and this is what we got to do to change it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've questioned that many times, man. I'm like, why didn't my parents do something different? They saw what their parents was doing, what they were going through, and all that, and I'm like, why didn't they do something different? I understand the times were different, times were harder. There wasn't a computer that you could just pull up stuff, right? But there was books, there was libraries. Their Temple had a public library for forever. Like, they could have went and found something. Like, I don't. It's hard for me to fathom like why people wouldn't want better. Even if it's incrementally. Like, people want better, right? They, just by saying, "Oh, this person got a better job," people feel like, "Oh, they're doing better than I did," so that's good enough.
And that's what I mean when I say we got to raise our standards, because our better is just like a couple extra crumbs, or I got a better car than you across the street, or I got a better house than you over there, but we still all doing bad. But now we competing about out of the people that's doing bad, who's looking the best or doing the best out of it. And I had this conversation the other day. I was like, if y'all really think it's a middle class, y'all playing with yourself, man. That's why everybody should be in grind mode. Like, it's the have and the have-nots right now. It's no middle class, because to me, the middle class is gone because the people that's quote unquote in the middle class, can't none of them afford to not work for a couple of weeks or a month. They would lose everything. So to me, that you if you still if we're in a position where 2-3 things go wrong back to back to back in your life, and you could lose it all, that means we all doing bad. And that's not talking about nobody. That's just saying we got work to do. Everybody, even if you feel like you're doing better than your neighbor, if a couple things go wrong in your life, you could be in a bad situation. You know what I'm saying? And if you think and operate like that, even if you feel like you're doing better, you need to think and operate like that, because things happen quick, things change quick, and we have to be able to adjust and really build wealth. It's only a handful of people that really got that. It's some people that's seeing a little money yearly. It's some people that's seeing more check to check. But in the bigger scheme of things, the way I see it, it's haves and have-nots. And either you got it, or you're in a position where you can't too many things go wrong, or you'll lose it. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way I look at it.
Yep. Same. That, and also like almost like mob mentality, right? Like, when I eventually get somewhere that I want to be, and I start making friends, neighbors, and stuff like that, I'm going to tell them about this too, right? Because you never know if you tell your neighbor something and they hit, $100 grand on something. Now they come drop you 5-10 grand. Like, hey, thanks, you helped me. Boom. Now I got something I can do to make money for life or whatever, Or I just made this money when I was in a tight pinch, and you knew I needed this, so you gave me the game and you helped me out. Boom. You never know who you can help. Like, and it's not just your family that you help. You can be breaking the curse in somebody else's family too, and starting generational wealth somewhere else. So like, it's not about like me. That's not what I'm all about anyway. I'm all about helping people do that for them, their families and themselves. Because I want my friends to have money too. It can't be one in the group that got money and everybody else don't. It just don't work. You know what I'm saying?
That's one of the biggest problems in our culture is we feel like if the next person next to you get money is taken away from your money. Like, I want to be like today. I be I serve to do the catering food for job sites, right? So today in the parking lot, as I'm selling plates, I'm over here. I got one of the old school guys. I'm setting up his Robinhood account and everything in the parking lot while I'm just giving him the game, because he's older, he's ready for retire, he's tired, he's fed up, and he's like, just listen to me talk like, man, I never even heard this, and he's way older than me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, you right about this, and I don't want to be working here for long, and this and that, and just an older guy. And to me, I always said, man, and I guess that's why I've been so ambitious my whole life with just trying to get it. Because I was never afraid of much, but one of the things that always terrified me since I was young, and I don't think it terrifies me as much now, but it's still a thought that I don't want to get old and broke.
Oh yeah,
The older you get and the broker you are, you become just pointless to people, even the people that kind of love you. You know what I'm saying? Like just being real, like they like, and that's what I always say. Like, and it's not even that people are bad-hearted people for that. Life just keeps it going. And if you didn't build nothing, like when you go to Walmart, you're gonna always see his picture posted up because he built something for the generation. Mm-hmm. So like my great grandma, I love her to death. I think about her from time to time, but I'm so wrapped up in life. It's just moments that she pop up in my head because she didn't build nothing. Like if she'd have built something for this whole family, I would see her and think about her every day because we're living the legacy that she built on. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I'll be trying to explain to this stuff without people taking it in a cruel way of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I think that's our mindset. Like my mindset is in 100 years, I want people going back on these videos and talking that he's one of the ones that changed the direction in our family. Like that's what I live for. And I think that if generations before us would have lived for that, we'll be in a better position. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, 100%.
Because most cultures live like that. We just, for some reason, don't. It's just about, hey, man, go get a job and you work hard until you die and go to heaven. You know what I'm saying? That's basically it's basically it. What they tell us.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, old and broke is a fear of mine as well. Like a fear. Like I'm because you do become irrelevant. And like people have life, people gonna have their own kids, they gonna have their own stuff going on, and they're gonna be doing stuff. And when you're older and broke, you can't do anything, and that's only gonna take you down faster, right? I've seen both my grandparents, both my grandmothers died when they were in their 60s. All right, so like, and they were both older and broke. They were, my dad's mom lived in one of our old houses that we had. And then my mom's mom was on Section 8 housing in Bartlett, and it's once that happened, it seemed like it just went downhill quick, like, and it's like, what happened here? Like, okay, they're at home, they can't go nowhere because they can't drive. Okay, they don't have money to like buy a car for somebody to drive them. Like they can't go out and do stuff for themselves. They're not interacting with other people. Like all these things that we need to survive and be fruitful as humans, they're not getting the interaction because they're stuck at home because they can't go anywhere because they don't have the funds to go anywhere. They don't have the money to take trips, and enjoy that time in life where you're supposed to be enjoying life. So yeah, 100% a fear of mine. I'm not trying to be old and broke.
Yeah, and then a lot of them just start just sitting in that house, eating bad food, getting sicker and sicker. I watched it with my own eyes. Like when you have money to really live life, you tend to be in better shape because you're traveling the world, you're seeing things, and that inspires you to want to be in shape. You know what I'm saying?
More active.
Yeah, you're more active.
Better foods.
So. And like even when I put in my book, I'm like, I can point to a lot of things that systematically, most things were systematically set up to, oppress us and everything. Mm-hmm. We know that, but a lot of it nowadays is not even them because it's on cruise control.
Doing.
Yes, it's our own doing because we refuse. We refuse to think different, operate different because now it's too much information now. Yep. We can go back and forth about what our parents should have learned, but they didn't have the internet, this and that. Mm-hmm. It was still people getting money. Y'all could have figured out something, what I'm saying? Yep. Because the generations before that, it was men that couldn't read. It was building schools. It was building homes. And you know what I'm saying? So
like Wall Street and all
like so you can't tell me like we were just being dumb and just like our people we've seen it. It was just a couple of generations that just took off and kind of like just tapped out,
Yeah, I mean, and even in our city, right? The same thing. There's prominent Black people in our city, you know. They had stores, Mr. Home store over there, Mr. Eli store.
Yeah, Mr. Marshall.
People had stores. Yeah. Like people had stores all over the place and they were business people and they were making money. So what was different for them than for our family? That's the stuff I think about too. I'm like, I don't see the circumstances being that different when they put their business on the east side. It wasn't like they, got some money or whatever and went to the other side of town. They kept it right there trying to build up our neighborhood, and then us knuckleheads running it down, doing some stuff we're not supposed to do. Not even thinking about, the impact that's having on our neighborhood,
Yeah. And what happened is on top of what you said, you know, well, what happens is we don't have what kind of like what we talked about. We don't know how to pass the torch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like any other group, when they have a store, somebody in their family or somebody gonna get it. If they do sell it, they do move or leave or this and that, you're gonna see, hey, it's gonna be somebody tomorrow. Hey, what's going on, buddy? I'm the new person. You know what I'm saying? Like they know how to pass the torch. We do not know how to pass the torch. And that's something we have to learn because we're ingrained in that programming got us selfish. And selfish is not a bad thing because, of course, everybody got to take care of home first. Everybody got to take care of their family. Those are the basics. So, of course, we don't even got to say that. But I'm saying we selfish in the bigger scheme of things, too, where it's just about, man, it's just about me. And like I say, everybody got to have a little bit of it up to the point because, of course, we got to take care of home first. But just that mindset of like that and not being about us or like you said, let me at least give some game. That's why I'm in the parking lot selling food. I talk about stocks and show different stuff every day. Then I got a couple of people, hey man, let me set up I don't know them from nothing but selling plates, but I want to see us win. You know what I'm saying? Like you jumping in the stock market ain't gonna hurt me none. So why wouldn't I tell you that? Like you know what I'm saying? Like, and I would love to be like, hey man, you know, one of the dudes I set up his first account, you know, he just hit 100,000. I'll be cool with that. I just, you know, just because that's how it's people that give me the game like that. You know what I'm saying? A couple guys that's teaching me how to trade, just giving me game. You know, it's some things I pay for, but a lot of that game they just give because they already winning. So it's a blessing for them to see somebody winning. You know, I'm not winning on their scale, but I'm winning. So I want to see somebody that don't know nothing about it start. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it just we just gotta, and it builds confidence in us to you win more. If I want to see you win, I win more. You know what I'm saying? Like if me and you doing a show right now, if let's say in a couple months or 6 months down the road, you like, oh man, I hit one of them. You know what I'm saying? We just casually talking and our phones go off alerts or something. You know what I'm saying? Like those are history moments that we that I'm a part of because man, that's who I've been talking. We've been chopping it up every Monday for weeks and months and talking about this stuff and telling people about it and in it. I personally in it. And then you start to see the benefits of it. You know what I'm saying? You starting to see the real benefits of it. Because I see benefits of me just being serious in the last 6 months. Like benefits that I didn't see for years because I wasn't focused on it. I played with it. Now I'm all in. So I'm like, okay, the last about 5-6 years that I've been playing with it, I'm trying to do the next 10 years in 2 years. So you know how much sacrificing that is. Like if you're trying to cram 10 years in 2 years, that means every little thing count right now, and it's going straight to the market. It's going straight to the brokerage. I don't care. I mean, noodles I'm glad I cook. I cook for a living, so I can always make me a little plate of what's left over. So say I'm on one of those ground right there, Kim Fogel. Like I played for the last so many years that I got to get all this back in the next 2 years. So I'm all in and really going hard. Really, I'm super aggressive with it. And so when people say gambling, it's the gamble that we're not in it. It's the gamble that we're scared and we keep living the same way. That's the gamble. When we keep, you know, and it's not even nothing about the job. Because if you want to go to the job and work there for the rest of your life, great. Just start operating with that check different. And you can still change your family's lives and generations of your family life at that same job just by doing different stuff with that same check.
Yep, because there's nobody in the history of the world that'd be like, hey, do you want more money? And they say no.
Yeah.
There's nobody. You know, like it's just changing that. Yeah, like you said, you can work at a job however long you want. It's what you do with the money that you get from that job that makes a difference, right? So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we can get through to some people, you know, get some people on it. I'm sure we will. Doing this for a while and we keep it going. I'm sure people will start, you know, at least trying it out to see, you know, and then once that happens, they're going to be hooked just like we are.
Yeah, I had a couple. What I told people I'm going to start doing, I'm going to post this week and start asking questions that they want to know about the stock market, and we'll answer a few every Monday. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
So you just start getting, and you know, because I got to really get real entrenched in this social media thing, man. I'm still kind of like playing with it because I'm really like a behind the scenes person, but I can't accomplish and do what I want to do unless I get out here and really go full fledged with it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's a battle within myself. I'm still battling. That's why I like being on here with people like you. Like you're accountability partner. You don't even know it. When you give me that
Say
tip,
what you say what you.
you
I'm
know
a
what I'm saying?
procrastinator like a mug.
Yeah, so you know when I get that text, I'll be like, oh yeah, we got a job, we got a show to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because if it was just me, I might look for a reason to get out of it, or look for a reason like I'll do it
I know
another
I
time.
would.
Yeah,
Same.
you know. So it's just building that up, and that's the same thing when investing. It might be funny at the first time, and you might just be playing with it, but if you just build up the consistency, like I'm in the market every day. Like I haven't been like this for you know, and I've been playing with the market for years, but the last 4, 5, 6 months, learning terminologies, different things about the taxes. You know, like I'm really a student. I'm in the market college right now, like deep dived in it. You know, and that's what I was telling the guy the other day. I was like, man, just start with the money that you would have just threw away anyway. And I say, as you see it build up and you build a confidence, then you're gonna start looking for more money to throw in there. You know, but right now, don't even worry about the big money. The extra $10, $20, $30, man, just cut out McDonald's for a couple of days and throw that money in it. You know, just little change like that. Just every time you got an extra free $10, go in there, just go throw it in there, this and that. And I try to, because to me, that's how you can build up confidence in it. And then, because if I just start telling you throw half your check in there or 20, that's gonna scare people.
Yep, it sure will.
They be like, man, I can't do that. I got too much stuff to do. I ain't got nothing to do, but they'll make up excuses. So I'm like, nah, just he's like $10. I'm like, yeah, man, little $10, little $20, whatever. Just start throwing that in there. He's like, oh yeah. So now he's more confident in doing it. He's thinking you have to have hundreds of dollars to start. I'm like, nah, man, just start with $10. Put $10 in there and try to do like 10 a week. And then I said, then try to get to like 10 a day. You know, and just let them goals build up. He's like, oh yeah, I could do that, man. I could do that, man. You know, so I think we just got to be, because I'm still, even though I'm confident, I'm still intimidated a little bit because the scale I want to win on it I'm still a baby in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And when they say that the big whales and they're ready to swallow us up, you know what I'm saying?
And I'd have been bit a few times too. You know,
so
I'm
for
the
me,
same
wanting
way.
to win on the level, I want to win knowing that the big boys out there searching for little minnows like me. It's like, man, how I'm gonna win on a big level, but still stay out their way. You know what I'm saying? For real. How you doing, Miss Lisa J. Stocks? You know, Lisa, you got a show? Do you talk about stocks on your show? What's going on your channel? I need to follow you back. But yeah, so that's what we wanted to talk about tonight. We really wanted to just talk about the gamble. And my whole thing is the gamble is to not do it. You know, and when I'm asked, well, what if the stock market crash? I say buy more. I said, do you ever go into the mall, spend $1,000, and ever think about that $1,000 again? No, because it's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why are you so scared to put $100, $200 and invest it and just forget about it and just build up that mentality? You know, start out and just try to build up a mentality with forgetting about money and living without it and go and sacrificing without it. Yes, you could have got you some extra cheeseburgers, or yes, you could have got this and that, but start building up a mentality because that's what it is. Like the mentality I got now, I'm possessed with the market. Like I don't like every time like I'm gonna go deposit some money into my brokerage account tonight. Just throwing money in there every time I get some free money or something or something come through. You know, I hit on the underdog fantasy last weekend. Gotta throw a little bit of that in there. Like I'm all hands on. Like, you know, every half of what I make every day, I'll selling food goes straight to the market. Like I basically just sell food just to break even and keep the food coming. The profit side, I throw that straight into the market every day. I don't even see that. I don't see none of that. You know, it's just so little stuff like that. I sold some hats today. Half went to go restock, half went to the market. Like I'm splitting the market with everything that comes in here is getting split right now. So I'm super aggressive because I done played with it so long. I gotta get serious, and I haven't even started trading yet. Right now, I'm just trying to load up the brokerages and get the stocks and get all that up under me. Are you into heavy into ETFs or not? Or you just stay the individual?
Not heavy, but I do have some, but I'm not heavy into them. So Well, it depends, right? I got two accounts, two main accounts that I use for me, and then the kids' accounts and all that stuff is separate. So my main account that I use, and that's like my life account, right? That's mostly index funds, and that's well, basically they're ETFs, because ETFs I don't have to pay for the management of them and all that type stuff, and it's a lower expense ratio and all that. So those are ETFs. But as far as my main account that I use more, that I'm more active in, and I'm trading and swing trading and all that type stuff, day trading, that I do stocks, and I have like, I think I only have three ETFs in that one, and then the rest is just individual stocks that I'm maneuvering with. So in my main account, yes, I have a lot of ETFs, and that's because I don't look at it every day, and that's my, like I said, my life account that I'm just using to build up. So I make sure it's in broad markets. So S&P 500, it's in the Nasdaq, it's in some international funds. There's some target date funds in there, and that's about it. So 4 or 5 index funds or ETFs that I use for that, but everything else is mainly just individual stocks.
Okay.
So a little bit of both.
Yeah. Okay, no, 'cause I'm getting real heavy. I'm getting real heavy into them, especially I know what's the name about to do is split. So I'm still learning about that. But yeah, I love the ETFs because it's just I found out that stocks that I'm already buying are in a lot of these ETFs too.
Yep.
So it's like the you know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
no, it's just I like that. I think they said that started in the '90s or something. That's something like fairly new to the market. I guess in the '90s, mid '90s, they started bringing these conglomerates to put out these different sectors together. So I think I don't know. I think it's cool. I like them. I don't see nothing especially for the long term. You know what I'm saying? Like super long term.
Yep. Yep.
So that's what we're doing. But yeah, so that's what we said. As far as we ended the night, what would you have any words about the gambling, or just anything you want to have anybody to think about, as far as the market, or getting over your fears at the market? Just anything you want to end us with for the night?
Yeah. First of all, I don't think it's gambling. Like I said before, it's investing, right? It's having the knowledge to know that something's going to work out, and that's what we've been talking about this whole time. Is just knowledge, right? You got to have the knowledge, and then all that becomes it becomes less risky in your mind because you know what you're doing, right? Like playing sports, you know, if you jump, what's going to happen? You know, you're coming back down, right? You know what's going to happen. That's why you jump. But if you didn't know, then you wouldn't jump. And that's kind of the same knowledge thing. It's like once you know what's going to happen, then you're more willing to do it. So it's not really gambling if you know what's going to happen. There's only two outcomes. It goes up or it goes down. Those are the only two outcomes. You know, that's it. So it's not like in my opinion, it's not gambling, because gambling also, I think you can lose it all, like legit lose it all. If you go to a roulette table and you put it on a number and that number don't hit, they taking all your money. You know, they ain't giving you nothing back. They're
Ain't no
not giving
stop
you
losses.
partial.
Ain't
Like,
no stop losses.
nope,
Ahead of your fund. You're
nope,
hedging your fund. Ahead
all gone.
of your.
So that's gambling. That's the difference. Like it doesn't work that way in the stock market. So that's why I don't see it as gambling. But also, like we talked about before, we got different stuff out there. You know, I got my ebook out there, my investing ebook. So if y'all want to check that out, y'all can check that out. It's secretsoffinance.com/quick start, and you can get the book. But other than that, you know, we got some more stuff coming. I got a class I'm working on, a course that I'm working on, trying to drop that soon. So if you're interested in that, let us know as well. And that's all I got for tonight.
Yeah, and matter of fact, I get what I'll do next week is I have it so we can have it going at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
the links, and we got to I got to step a game up, Kimpo. We playing. You know what I'm saying? So
It's all
make
right.
sure I get all that. And I said last week, but I'm gonna make sure I get it so I can put it in the description for all 4 or 5 weeks that we got. I want to put his links in the description. So you know, we'll get on all that, man. I appreciate everybody coming in. But Lisa, you have to come on the show and talk stocks. You say you know what I'm saying, you into stocks, VTI, yeah. I'm in. I got some VTI. You know, Vanguard. I didn't even know Vanguard was a brokerage company too. Vanguard is big boys. Like I just found out a couple of days ago that it's a brokerage. You can open up a brokerage account with them. I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm like, man, these boys, they ain't leaving no money on the table. They everywhere, man.
Yep.
But yeah, so man, this was another episode of Financial Talk. We'll be back on next Monday, 8:00 Central Time. Lisa, if you want to come on and talk stocks with us, come on in. We're gonna be bringing some people on, doing interviews. We're gonna be doing some teaching. We're gonna be pulling up some stuff. So just keep tuning in with us. We're gonna be building up this show. And I want to appreciate you again. Thanks you for coming on, Kinfolk. I look forward to seeing you next Monday. Let's keep this rolling, big dog.
Already, no problem.
All right, man. You have a good week. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, see you.